Okay, in this video I'm going to use Microsoft Excel, and I'm going to demonstrate how to plot a wave in Microsoft Excel. Let's suppose we're interested in plotting the following equation. I want to plot the equation, let me draw it out here, S of x and t, this is a traveling wave, is equal to 4 times the sine of 12 times x minus 3 times t plus 2.5. Okay, so this is a traveling wave because it depends on both space and time, x and t. And let's suppose I want to plot this wave over a period of 5 periods at time t equals I don't know, say 2 seconds. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say t, and I'm going to say is 2 seconds here. And I'm going to make a little spot to hold my time variable. And then I'm going to make an x and an s column. And the x column is going to vary from 0, and it's going to go by 0.1s in space, so every 10 centimeters or every 0.1 meter, let's say. And I'm going to evaluate this function at time t equals 2 for variable x, as x varies. And I want to plot this over 5 periods. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say that 12 is equal to 2 pi over the wavelength. Okay, 2 pi is about equal to 6 because pi is about equal to 3. So if 12 is 2 pi over the wavelength, that can be solved for the wavelength being 2 pi over 12, or about 6/12, or about 1/2. And in fact, I can write a little equation here that says equals 2 times pi divided by 12. And that gives us 0.5. And this is the wavelength, meters. Okay. And you'll notice that when I type in pi, the number pi, 3.1415, I just type pi and then left parenthesis, right parenthesis. It's actually a function in Excel. Okay, so if I want to plot this wave over 5 periods, what I'm going to do is I'm going to plot it from 0 to about 2.5, which is 5 times 1/2. Okay, so I'm going to take my x-axis and I'm going to select the 0 and the 0.1, and then I'm going to let Excel complete that pattern for me. And I'm going to drag by the right-hand lower corner, and I'm going to drag down to about 3. Let me reduce the size of my Excel window so you can see the whole thing here. So I drug down to about 3, and that should get me about 5 periods, or a little bit more than 5 periods here. Okay. And now I'm going to type my formula into the cell D10, and I'm going to say that D10 is equal to 4 times the sine of 12 times x. Now x is, for this cell D10, I want x to be the value in C10. So I can either type C10, or I can just hit my left arrow and move my selection over to cell C10. Notice that as I move this arrow around, the value that is being plugged into the equation varies as well. So I can just move my left arrow over to get a C10 there, and then I go minus 3 times t, and t I'm going to fix at 2 seconds, and so I'm going to click in a C7. Well, I'm just going to use a 2 there, and then I'm going to add 2.5. And this is how I type in that equation. So I'll double check it. 4 times the sine of 12 times x, which is in C10, minus 3 times t, which is 2, plus 2.5. Okay, it works. To get this equation to copy down, I'm going to grab the right hand corner of it and drag it down. If I want to copy it all the way down, I can just double click in the corner and that copies it down as far as I've got some data to the left. Now to make the graph, I'm going to select the entire data range, including the headings, like this, and I'm going to choose from the menu Insert a Chart. And I'm going to use choose a chart type, and the chart type I want is, well, where is it here? Where's my chart types? Chart styles, maybe if I make the window wider. Here we go, here they are. Here's a line chart. These should be the chart types here. Sometimes Excel. Where are my chart types? If I make the window wider, I guess it brings more options. Insert a chart. Okay, for some reason making my Excel window much wider gave me a bunch more options here. So I'm going to choose a scatter plot, and I'm going to choose straight line scatter. I try to avoid any of these smooth scatter plots because they give you a fake curve that's not really real. So I'm going to use straight line scatter, and I'm going to let that chart appear here, and you can see I have approximately 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I actually have about 6 periods, but this will do. And you can see that maybe I didn't choose enough data points in this plot because my sine wave is kind of rough. But this is the basic idea of how to make a plot. And this is an XY plot. It is a scatter plot. And when I when I left click on the plot itself, it will highlight both columns that I have in here. And so, as expected, the wavelength is about, it's about 0.52. It's just about a little bit over 0.5 is my wavelength here, so that's correct. And so that's the basic idea. Hope that helps.